The skills covered in this GameMaker tutorial include creating a simple game, adding sprites and sounds, adding objects and actions, and saving your finished game. We're going to create a simple Catch the Clown game with GameMaker. The resources we're about to use come in the GameMaker Beginner folder that should be with your netbook software. Now to start with, we're going to create what are called sprites, and sprites are the images that make up part of our game. I'll head up to Resources and come down to Create Sprite. I'm going to change the name there to SPR_clown, and the reason why I'm doing that, when I click on Load Sprite, there's already an image of a clown selected there that's been supplied in that Beginner folder, and I'll click Open. There it is, and OK. The second sprite we'll bring in, back up to Create Sprite, is part of what will be an image of the wall that will be in our game. So I will change the name to SPR_wall, load sprite, and choose the wall. I'll get rid of transparent because I don't want my wall to be transparent, and I click OK. So we can now see up here underneath Sprite, our two resources under the sprites are the Sprite Clown and the Sprite Wall. We're now going to add a couple of sounds that will become part of our game. And to do that, we head back up to Resources and come down to Create Sound. Now I'll name the first sound SND_bounce, which will be the bounce sound that we'll have attached to the clown. I click Load Sound, there is bounce, and Open, and OK. I'll now repeat that. I'm bringing in a second sound, which we'll call this one SND_click, and I will load. There is the click sound, and Open, and OK. We're now going to create objects. I'll first of all head up to Resources and down to Create Object, and in name I'll call this one OBJ_wall. I'll then come here where it's got sprite and it says no sprite. If I click on the icon here to the right, I'll choose the wall sprite. There it is, and I would like to make that solid, so I click in the checkbox there and click OK. We'll now add our second object by heading back up to Resources, down to Create Object. I'll name this one OBJ_clown. Choose my clown sprite by holding down the right icon there, and I'll now come to Add Event and Create. And what I'd like to do here is create an action for our clown by coming over to our icon here, which is the moved fix icon. Grab that, drag it over, and drop it into the actions column there. Now what I'm doing here is telling the clown what directions it'll be able to move in. I want it to move in all directions, so I click on all of these arrows, all bar the middle one, which will stop it, and the speed I'll choose is 4. And I'll click OK. We're now going to add a collision event to the clown when it hits the wall. And to do that, I click on Add Event, choose Collision, and then choose OBJ_wall. Over here on the right, I grab what is the bounce icon and drag it over to Actions, and I click OK. Now I'm going to add a sound, so when our clown bounces off the wall, we'll hear that sound. To do that, we click over here on the tab that is Main 1, come down here to the Sounds icon, or Play Sound, hold down and drag that over underneath Actions. At the moment it's got no sound, so we click on the right icon and we choose the sound bounce, and OK. I'm going to handle what happens when you click on the clown during the game. We'll choose Add Event, and I'll choose here Mouse, and we'll make it that we'll select left pressed, which means when you click on the mouse, we'd like the following to happen. We'll click on down here the tab Score. We'll grab here it says Set Score, put that into the Actions column, and we'll make it that every time you click on the clown, a score of 10 will be added, and we click in the relative checkbox, which means the score will be added each time, so 10, 20, 30, etc., and we click OK. We'll now add another sound that'll happen when you click on the clown, and we'll head to main one, come down to sounds, drop that here into our actions column, and I will click right mouse click and choose sound click and OK. If I head back to the move tab here, what I'd also like to add is a jump to random function, which means when we click on the clown, it will jump to somewhere in the game into a random position. I grab that, drop it over, and I click OK. And finally, we'll add one more action, which will head back up to the moved fixed action, grab that, drag it down and drop it into our actions column. We'll select all of the outside directions here, and we'll change the speed to 0.05, and we'll also check the relative box there. Click OK. We're now ready to create a room or a venue for our game. I'll click OK and head up to Resources and come down to Create Room. And then I'll choose Settings here, and I'll give this a name that is RM_main, and for caption we'll put in Catch the Clown. And up the top here where it has Snap X and Snap Y, we'll change the 16 to 32. Now if I click back on objects, there is my clown, and if I click anywhere now over in the middle of our game area, our room, there is the clown. If I come back over, hold down my mouse, I can choose the object wall, and now I can start to put the sprite of the wall around the outside of our room. If I hold down the Shift key, I can do that quickly. We can also change the background colour of our room, which at the moment is a somewhat dull grey, by selecting backgrounds here. I can import images in if I wish, or I can just use the colour palette here, and I'll change that to a reddy pink colour and click OK. When we're done, we click on the green tick here, and this will save our changes. Now ready to test run our game, and to do that we head up to the Run menu and down to Run Normally, and this will load up our game. Once it loads up, here is our game, and I can start to click on the clown, and as we do, it starts to follow what we've programmed into the game, which means the clown will start to move quicker the more that we click on him. Finally, we're going to create what's called a game executable, which means we'll save our game in a way that anyone can play our game, but they won't need to have Game Maker to be able to open up and play our game. And all we do is head up to File, down to Create Executable, decide on what we wish to title it, which Catch the Clown is fine, and we want to save this, which I'll save this into my Game Maker folder, and click Save. And now our Catch the Clown game is saved in a way that anyone can open up and play it.